You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered? It doesn't really matter, and I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't... In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be...
The lieutenant is about to interject. Cut him off. This decision should be yours.
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I am sure you understand.
Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with
Since you are sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst case.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be. I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail. They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric, or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor. Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they, exactly?
Crenel, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban...
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union... He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched. Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenel contractors carry out their orders, for now. It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
What is the nature of this?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants. It is very far from disco. My only hope is that you provide a single, concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good, and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn...
They would have to project strength and power.
The débardeurs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty.
The Serai's giant hornet, the world's 2nd largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in less than 4 hours.
These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have, as I said, a bloodbath. Many bleak scenarios have already come true. Nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia. All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation. Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell. They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman-Lorenz, Eendracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries.
Meaning they're used to operating in wars.
Yes. All the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct. Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the... If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the...
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenel. I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us. Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it. The remaining contractors... Their tribunal. It's what they believe. That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the exception.
The lieutenant consults his notebook.
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with...
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got there. That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor. About a rumor. In any case...
You meet her soon enough, you feel.
If you mean did I see him alive? Yes. Lely, his service name, a nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one. He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age.
Indeed. This matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body. What else? Nationality?
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent. Oranese. Or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it. Through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once. They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto
Vigilantes. You're a professional officer of the only legitimate authority in Revachol.
Somehow, I doubt that lecturing them on the legitimate use of force will persuade them to stand down. You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
This is so embarrassing. You have no idea.
You're back. Good. You have. And how did you like me?
Finally.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that. It doesn't really matter in any case.
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I am sure you understand.
Of course, I wouldn't normally break protocol like this. Yes.
Since you're
Then we're on the same page. I have an indirect role to play. I'm sad to say. They would
every...
a member of the board. Absolutely.
Who are...
Cronell. They wear...
So...
The story is, he was taken out. Nothing. It's a...
What is the...
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the... It is... If you don't...
The debate...
Have you ever... These men, as I said, a bloodbath. Many. All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. Not much.
Downing.
They boast a lot.
Meaning the...
Yes. Sadly, if you...
Do you know...
In my line of work, I have. And they will. Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from the remaining contract that the
The lieutenant.
last Sunday night. Either way, that's a good question.
You meet her soon enough, you feel.
If you meet Lely, his service name, a nom de guerre most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one. One is a man, Corty, they call him, a nickname as well. The other a woman, Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner.
What would you say was his eye color? The deceased.
She closes her eyes, trying to picture.
I can't remember.
That's all right, man.
He was 40.
Indeed, this matches the dental...
In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak. They've gone to They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it, you're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens...
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbour gates. The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise. The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gate is a powder keg.
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my hands are tied. How would my...
Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace.
That would afford a good vantage point. In any case...
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short wave at the ship's wheel. I hope I can answer it better. Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
5 days, not more. Maybe sooner.
It's a matter of days, not weeks. I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask. Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
For about half a minute.
It was taken with a trigette not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly.
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between... I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent. Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels. His platoon members? The other contractors, though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade. Do what you have to do, Detective. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security, but if you should wade into the mob...
We will be careful, ma'am.
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption.
Where is he now?
The times have changed. Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They start...
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports.
In Martinez, looking into Krenon, he writes in one. Then the man puts down his pen and rubs his temples with both hands. Outside, there is a siren. Distant gunshots on the streets of the Jamrock Quarter.
That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways, just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom... Is there anything else I can help you with?
The sight of bullet holes stirs something in you, making you forget the lieutenant's surname. The faded marks are too degraded to draw any forensic conclusions. Just, they look pretty ancient.
Where? There? Those are old. Yes, the one that happened half a century ago. Those bullets were fired during the revolution and do not warrant an investigation by officers of civil law. Not much. I don't have a fresh perspective.
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it in spring. It's still too cold outside.
This is where you say your bid.
He's used to giving orders and having them obeyed immediately. You should not...
Detective.
Precinct 57's finest scans the room, leaving the speaking to you. He trusts you, maybe against his better judgment, but he does.
Hey, dipshit. You hard of hearing or something? The boss man's talking to you.
What, is he fucking kidding? This guy high or something?
Hey, asshole, up here.
We're looking for Titus Hardy.
Oh, this is about him. A real looker, that one.
You sure took your time, huh? Waited for him to get real ripe and pretty.
Oh, he was a real pretty boy. Hanging up there, letting out that pretty boy smell.
I can't for the life of me understand why you did it. I mean, I would have just left him up there.
You might want to start asking your questions now.
These guys are so macho, they're ready to confess to first-degree murder. Ask if it was them. Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard. Chances are they're going to match. Starting from the right, boot size 44, blonde man. Sitting on his right, standard working boots, size 45 or 46 across at the other table. Hobnailed working boots, size 43. Gang tattoos, Mesk or Sarah Mauritian in his late 30s. And then standard working boot, steel reinforced toes, size 46. The big dick, wide at the shoulders. The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. A little patch below it reads, in the far corner, standard working boot, steel reinforced toes, size 44. 40-something, non-alcoholic beverage in hand. You squint. Is that a plectrum? On his neck. Forget it. Let's call this one the musician. Size 41, with the light step. Not a child, after all. An older man with a rat face, mean, watery eyes. In the middle, heaving and wheezing. Big guy. Boot size 46, deep marks. Probably carried the victim over. In conclusion, these 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were theirs, but there's a discrepancy. Exactly. The missing lady driver who was running the drug trade. Does it mean the Hardy Boys are involved in the drug trade as well? Maybe. But hey, you've stood there for about 4 seconds, not saying.
The fuck is with you, fella? Like hell you have. There is no local drug trade. This place is as clean as a rifle. Go back to...
We'll do that. In the meantime, did you know that there's an abandoned lorry at the intersection that was used to move raw ingredients? The person driving it was present at the hanging. It was one of you. We've connected the footprints. Detective, do you want to deliver the coup de grâce?
No, the thunder is his. Leave it to the lieutenant.
Thank you. You're right, Titus. There is no local drug trade because it's all...
That's a mighty interesting theory. I guess that's what you would need to do, theoretically. A big, strong...
Yeah, man. Theoretically, that's what you would do. To get rid of the gangs, the dealers.
You would need good, trustworthy people to take their place, of course. Hardy men to run such a monopoly. For the good of the community, of course. No, there aren't. Some little shit and his dad are doing speed. Who fucking...
Whatever you've seen is peanuts. Look at the big picture, man. The place...
Theoretically, of course. We're just talking politics.
Not quite yet, Mr. Hardy. There were 8 sets of prints on the crime scene. There are only 7 Hardy boys here.
My answer is... fuck off. Mind your own business.
Finally, you got something out of him.
And here we go. Back to the usual.
I know! Fatty walked on all 4s. He's so fucking fat he left 2 se-
Go fuck your mom, Dennis.
That's more like it, boys. You heard him. It was Angus on all 4s. Anything else you need to know?
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy. Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy boy?
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we...
This person Glenn wants to hire. He really... She? So there's an 8th Hardy, and it's a...
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here.
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy boy. It's a she, and you don't like a...
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy boy. You're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't...
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question?
There's no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th Hardy sooner or later.
The pretty boy. You got...
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
You mean these boots? We all got a pair. We wore them the night we took the pretty boy out back and hung him. Yeah, we did this. Together. All of us. Until he was dead. That's why our prints are all over this goddamn rut.
No. These 7 honest men have equally come forth. They told you what happened?
They're playing to their considerable strength in numbers. Don't talk about arresting them. You'll only bring attention to your inability to do so.
Huh?
There was a bullet in the dead man's brain. Why was it there, if you hang...
How the fuck do I know? Anyone could have shot him. Target practice, maybe.
This line of questioning is over. You got the cause of death already? Hanging. If there's any post-mortem trauma...
This was a good move. Also, notice how Titus doesn't like her much, especially when she's calling the shots.
Are you deaf? There will be no singling. And do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
Titus, keep addressing him. He wants everyone to know he's in charge.
That's for the courts in Les Jardins to decide. Not for the off. What you can do right now is go back.
No. We'll stay here and discuss what happened that night.
We hanged him up by his neck until he got...
Didn't they teach you anything?
You're pretty sure you've had at least 2 years of cop school and many more.
Can you give us a few more details? Did you muffle him? We haven't heard any reports of screams.
Titus, you don't...
We overpowered him, dragged his unconscious body to the tree, put a noose around...
Then we left him for seagulls, maggots, and you fucks.
Like what, copper? How many people have you sent to the Shays?
Chaise électrique is the method of capital punishment in revolution.
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
But you see, a lawman, is something people agree upon. And here in Martinez, we agree.
You don't have to keep answering his questions.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
Known him? We don't... Yeah!
Quiet! He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow...
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier? The representative for White Pines? The same company you are striking against?
No, I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what?
This is where he tries to sow discord between you two, because he knows the company.
Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interest in things to...
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
We hanged him up.
Didn't they?
You're pretty
Can you give us a...
Titus,
We over...
Then we left him for seagulls.
Titus is solid as a rock, and so are a few others. But Elaine, who looks like he might be Titus's right-hand man, the least antsy of the bunch. This little rat-faced fellow is solid, too. Always fidgety, him neither. Mostly keeps to his tomato juice, or whatever he's got there.
With numbers, asshole. How do you think?
No, he hasn't. Not yet.
Right fucking here. The fucker Prent?
Titus lets the others clear out the details, so he doesn't get his hands muddy with explaining too much.
No.
Of course he's having trouble breathing. Just look at how fucking...
Fuck off, Shanky. Angus is a powerful...
Keep your eye on this powerful guy. Sooner or later.
And fuck you, too, copper. Picking on Angus like this.
His all-muscle comment wasn't, "This one is a stone wall." You won't get more out of them about the night of the murder. Not yet.
Right fuck...
Titus lets the others clear out the details, so he doesn't get his hands muddy with explaining too much.
Like what, copper? Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town. And he stepped out alive.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Cohoy and Semenine written all over him.
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
This one has a special gripe with him coming here.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara. Wrong. He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
There's a slight unease in him, suddenly. He regrets mentioning the rape.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. And that was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls.
He grabbed someone?
Yeah. This girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl. Young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker... Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is...
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening?
No. You're not getting the name.
Despite the stonewalling, you can slip one more question in.
Titus, do not answer.
Fuck off, Carl. She's gone through enough without you. Her.
What are you talking about? Embarrassment. If someone has been...
What you need is to get the fuck out of my face. I've had enough of explaining myself to you fucks.
As you can see, these men can only take so much baseless scrutiny.
It's true. She was the only thing holding him back.
Nothing. Your investigation here is done.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't... I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder, even if it is a group responsibility.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us. Real law.
Rent-a-cop? So that's what this is about. He doesn't see you as his equals.
It's you again. What is it?
Established.
It's you again. What is it?
As you look around this room full of sweaty men, swearing, drinking, spitting out tobacco, does this look familiar? You believe the place was called Precinct 41. It was also filled with, almost exclusively, men. You seen Apricot, old Purdue's daughter? Asks Lieutenant McCoy. Replies Torson. The ass on that one. McCoy shakes his head in appreciation. A bit strange the old man named her Apricot, but, I mean...
You got a problem with beer now?
Not quite there yet. Push on.
You saying we don't help people? I've been doing this job for 10 years. Martinet.
They don't know, man. They weren't here. We had 3 shootings a week, kids dead, fucking graffito everywhere. You cops haven't shown up.
Congratulations on the graffiti removal. All I see is you sitting around talking about Monica's titties while there's a rape victim.
So what? What do you want from me?
Don't let him drink that. Just don't antagonize him. You have this already.
Titus?
She stops mid-sentence. That's it. You got him. He's going to give it up, but on his terms.
You want to talk to her, cop? Fine. If you don't, if you question her, harass her, a freight train of pain, buddy.
What is her name?
Clausia, I'm on due. She's staying here in the whirling in rags, a real pretty one. Silvery jumpsuit.
Shit. The girl upstairs? That can't be her.
Oh, it's her! It's definitely her! It's Miss Oranje, disco dancer!
You inexplicable.
It's you again. What is it?
As you look around this room full of sweaty men, you believe you seen Apricot.
Huh? You got a problem.
Not quite there yet. Push on.
You say
They don't know me.
Congratulations.
so.
Just don't antagonize him.
Titus?
She stops.
You want it if you don't.
What is her name?
Clausia.
Shit. The girl upstairs? That can't be her.
Oh, it's her! It's definitely her!
You inexplicably add cool after the victim's name, but no one notices. Your spine is too damn straight. None of these people would ever suspect you've met her. Whatever you do not tell him you know her. That would sound off.
Relationship? There was no fucking relationship. He raped her. That's their
Something is off here. His anger is possessive.
Was like that karaoke incident all over again.
Okay, enough. All of this is irrelevant to your stated investigation.
He did it before we killed him. He's not gonna do it again. So what does it matter?
It would help if we establish a timeline.
All right. 2 weeks, maybe? I don't know.
Here you go, boss.
I know her.
How well do you?
A small twitch in the corner of Kim's mouth. He has a house.
Well enough, Copper. We party. She's been here for...
He tries to make it sound real casual, but the muscles on his neck tighten.
You mean Revachol? Nah, she's an immigrant.
or a drifter of some sort. Been staying here over the winter.
Don't you give her any more trouble. She's just had some bad luck, that's all.
Shut up, Angie. She doesn't need your help.
Titus gives them both a what's with all the silences? It's like these guys don't know how to feel about this.
Remember what I said. Freight train of pain.
Hear that? Magnesium. That's what you're lacking. The lack of magnesium has you slouched. Yes, and it's critical. Look at yourself. You're practically devolving into a fish due to the lack of magnesium in your bloodstream. Maggot sideways? What are you talking about? You need to maggot up. You've probably had 2 heart attacks and a minor stroke already, and the only prescription is insane amounts of magnesium. Yes, if you want to live, you need to evolve. You need to transcend the carbon barrier. Go to the apothecary.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time?
The door is closed.
Who is it?
This is the police. Can we come in?
Come on up. The door is open.
Sounds like it's coming from upstairs somewhere. This medicine cabinet is full of wares. Sheets of pills, haphazardly stacked. One, it's been used quite a lot. Pharmaceuticals line the shelves, sheet upon sheet of pill bottle next to pill bottle. Acetylic acid, APAP, eye drops, blood thinners.
Anything of note?
Pill bottles rattle like bones as you search the cabinet. Paracetamol, histoperidol, something in a foreign language you can't read. Behind them, an unusually shaped nacra. This is used to treat opioid overdoses. Always handy to have around.
Interesting. That's used for diamorphine overdoses.
Among some foreign, probably Messinian or Gotwaldian, marked red blister packs you find. What do you find? A bright orange bottle with peptide stamped on it, in sunny, happy letters. Jackpot, baby. That's the stuff you're looking for. Your palms begin to sweat just holding that.
Peptide, a euphemism for pharmaceutical amphetamine. Prescription speed.
The fuck are you waiting for? Let's get super fucking preppy. It's speed, man. Just what you were looking for. They call it dextro and... Just as you look at the flowers, a gust of wind raises them from the roof, picking them up in the air. The wind... Just as you look at the flowers, the wind... Just as you look at the flowers, you catch a single white flower between your fingers. The rest fly off into the wind. The young woman looks at the Maybell in your hand. The lieutenant gives you... Six crumbling petals rest on your palm. They're white.
This is the Insulindian lily, called Maybells or Lucille's tears during the Revolution. Girls used to pin these on soldiers before sending them off to battle.
This flower is a spring flower, but it's a bit early for that, isn't it?
The revolutionaries, so the communards and the anarchists. White's their color, but the custom started in the suzerain's army, so it held meaning for the king's men too. It's about girls and boys more than sides. Girls sending off boys who are going to their deaths, then also dying themselves in the ruins from dysentery and consumption. It's a symbol of the Civil War. Yes, but not this early, not to my knowledge. It looks dried, preserved. Maybe, maybe not. A big political and military conflict. Ask around or buy a book.
The petals feel dry and water flows under the channel bridge. Dark water. You rub your sides for warmth, but there is none. Inland, above the Martinez distributary, the channel that brought wastewater from the silk mills of the wrinkled fingers of an old man crush flower petals, then sprinkle them in the stream like white salt. The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag, bearing the art. Beside his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny, shriveled head of cauliflower.
What? Well, if I was the bullet, which I'm not, I would say find the weapon that... If we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim. In conclusion, the more we know about this bullet of yours, the better.
The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels that it's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments...
What can you say about the bullet so far? A jacketed bullet. Okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzleloader like those typically found on the streets of Mart.
Highly unusual. The people of Revachol haven't carried breech-loading weapons like this.
Even the RCM uses ordinary unjacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating.
Something tells you that won't be anytime soon. This'll have to be one of those epic tasks that's open for a while. The squashed bullet has some sharp edges you wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge. The bullet is still safely sealed away in a plastic. You can't remember what happened. The bullet is still safely sealed. You can't remember what happened. The bullet is still safely sealed. You can't remember what happened last. The bullet is still safely sealed. You can't remember. The bullet is still safely sealed away. You can't remember. The bullet is still safely sealed. You can't remember. The bullet is still safely sealed. You can't remember. The bullet is still safely sealed. A rifle, Revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46 millimeter. From the surplus, the 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefield. No, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for a well-preserved antique.
What are you thinking? Bullet? Okay. And? An antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles floating around in Martinez, or anywhere in Ravachol, really. Sure, there's some arms trafficking, but the laws prohibiting the use of breech loaders we inherited from the monarchy have been effective, from what I've seen. Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzle loaders once they've trained with military-grade weapons, but they realize it's worth it in the end.
Prohibiting? peacetime law enforcement to front-loaded rifles is a policy enforced by the Moralist International in all the nations of the Real Belt.
Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. But back to the investigation. Doesn't seem that likely, but we'll check out all possible leads. Next step.
It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much. Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage? But it was in the trash. Why not just call it out when you see it? An intricate web of blue lines. The pattern still kind of has an ethnic feel. Gone. For you to discover. Someone close to the victim might know. Someone who knows about it.
Welcome to the roof.
Her hair is still slick from the shower. Below her silvery jumpsuit, an athletic young body, built long and lean.
I'm sorry for the mess down there. The cleaning lady hasn't come by in days. I'm beginning to wonder if she ever will. Oh yes, legends of room number 1 have made their way around the building. They say a portal to hell has opened in there. They also say that's why the cleaning lady quit. Because of the infernum.
I'm Kim Kitsuragi. I'm a detective from Precinct 57.
Have I ever? Have you grown accustomed to your role as a police officer?
Oh yeah, feel the power.
Like riding a coppercycle.
Miss, we are investigating the murder of the man down there. The people...
Huh. I see.
Be careful. Ask something else first. When you go there, use words like, I hear you have been through something difficult. She looks at the dried petals in your palm. Chipped white polish covers the nail. It's long and sharp, like a mini dagger. The petal...
Pretty. Looks like a dried maybell. Is that the one you caught? Sambo style? Why was there a flower on the roof?
Or an admirer?
Admires? I'm too old to be a debutante. And this place is no fashionable society. Clasier Amandu. Vredefort, Republic of Oranje. A bad memory, officer. It's the past. People can't go back to the past. Something stupid.
Wanna hear what's stupid? Somewhere in a one-room apartment on Boogie Street, a young man shows Patrol Officer Tilbrook his genital warts, asking if they're cancer. His partner, Emil Mullins, can't be there. He's in another apartment with another man who's showing him a dead dog under the radiator. It's dead, Mullins says. No, he's warm, Mullins replies, because he's under the radiator.
Oranese lit. Oranese literature. It's what I studied at the university. Fear of failure, fear of death, how it sucks to be Oranese. All national literature.
If that's true, then Revacholian lit would fit you like a glove.
Nothing. I do nothing with it. Cool. I've made more money by just being than I have with Oranese lit. Many things. A roller skating instructor, a secretary, Miss Oranje 36.
It's the world's most tired smile. Of course she won a beauty pageant. She's very symmetrical.
I'm afraid you can't.
Why is that?
Because it's buried in a sealed plastic bag at an undisclosed location on the coast, along with cash and airline.
Thank you for your candor.
They say so in your tourist brochure. Keep travel documents away from your person when west of the river. If I were to lie to you, I would come up with a more mainstream name than Clausia Mondu. It's a weird name. If I were to... Okie doke.
If any of this made her nervous, it certainly doesn't show in her expression or her movements.
I'm 28. The record. So official. Yeah, it's pretty deluxe. Thank you. I've put a lot of time and effort into it.
Technically, possession of narcotics is legal in Revachol. No, don't listen to the stiff. Be cool.
With money, sir. It's not exactly the anti-star-size caboodle I intend for it to be one day, but it's getting there.
The anti-star is, or was, a vespertine rock and roll star who liked to do drugs. He did so many drugs, he eventually mutated into a corpse.
Comes in handy when you've done too many opioids.
Is that something that happens to you often, miss?
Better safe than sorry. Oh, yes. One of my favorites. Like not being able to stay up for 36 hours, not being happy. It cures those ailments. It's just a merit speed molecule, basically. Very funky. I'm wintering.
How long have you been staying?
About 4 months. I came in November. Here in the Whirling, here in Martinez, or here in Revachol. Because it's the funkiest building in Martinez. And because all the other buildings are bombed to hell. I'm
How long?
About 4 months. Here in the Whirling, here in I heard this is where the washed-up disco has-beens go. If you say so, officer. If you say so. I'm
How long have you?
About 4 months. Here in the Whirling, I always wanted to see the only city in the world in the worst time of the year. It's a tourist thing. Okay.
Watching herself reflected in the bedroom window, tall and sparkling and draped in smoke.
Yes. You're just one room away. Very personal.
You do not need to know that. What you need is to ask normal police questions, like...
Get a grip, he thinks. At least do your personal stuff when I'm not here.
Something difficult? I've been through at least half a dozen difficult things. Which one do you mean? By sexually assaulted, you mean raped?
Yes.
It's a bit early in the morning for raped, isn't it?
She sounds positively buoyant, vivacious, totally unbothered.
Is it? It is afternoon. Time flies, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go with not raped.
By him, she must meet.
Tell them it's not my style. They'll have to, you know, if they want to jazz up the charges, they'll have to get someone more, rapeable.
Are you saying that you were asked to tell us you were assaulted?
Not explicitly, but I understood what they meant. It wouldn't hurt to spice things up a bit. Some assault and battery. Sexual assault, maybe. It was clear the latter would be spicier.
Bullet? They shot him too?
They stripped his clothes and they shot him?
You mean after they hanged him?
I'm confused, sorry.
So am I. Were you aware that he had also been shot, miss?
Things are starting to go a little over my head here. I thought he was hanged. I was not present when they did it. I don't know what happened. I just know...
It's hard to know what to think about that answer. She's just tired. Don't push her too much.
He had something to do with the strike. One has been roiling since I got here. Rotten timing. But...
And his role in this strike was?
I think he was in a security detail. He was ex-military, worked for Wild Pines, and against the Union. We didn't discuss...
And they lynched him for it?
She nods.
I'm sorry, I can't do it. Not right now. Later, maybe. I keep seeing him. Like he is now. I can't talk about it.
I know it's difficult, miss. We can return to it later.
Pretty much.
Warming them.
We partied. With all due respect, sir, I think we partied a little harder than that. Please, you're alive and 50. I've known people who party so hard they're dead at 14.
What did you do when...
We drank, sir. A lot. For weeks, basically. We had that effect on each other.
What else?
Stimulants. Speed also has that effect, making you drink harder. And then drinking harder makes you do more speed. It's quite the combination. We also had sex. I guess you can say that, yes, a bit. Lovers is such an emotional word. But there were...
How did you two meet?
Downstairs, at the bar. He was on some sort of assignment, a military man, as you probably...
She appears aloof, but that scar part, the scary, is stressed and with longing.
When was this?
A month ago? Something like that. I'm 89% sure. You know how it is.
Do you?
Maybe you don't know.
There are numerous cigarette burns on those silvery scales.
In conclusion, officer, I'm gonna go with a mild to medium not raped here. Let me make this 100% clear then, officer. I was not sexually assaulted. Would I be as flippant if I had been? Oh yes. I've had a great view from the roof.
A bitter cringe. He takes a small step closer.
You called us, the RCM.
Yes.
Jackpot.
I made it. And I would appreciate it if you didn't tell everyone. In Martinez, they call it snitching.
Reporting crimes is confidential in Revachol, miss.
Because I couldn't handle it anymore. None of these people called. He just kept hanging there. Then they started stripping him. I didn't exactly disguise it. I just muffled the mic and nicked the landline a little. With nail clippers. And I diverted some radio fuzz into...
You were right to suspect there might be foul play involved with the broken phone line.
Did I? Fuck. I didn't mean to. I had no idea what I was doing.
Still, that's pretty clever tampering. Simple and clever. Crossing the...
Thanks. I don't know, sir. It was stupid. I was drunk, too. I was probably afraid the union was
Thank you for making the call, miss.
I didn't want to, sir. But if I hadn't, he'd still be hanging there. They're frequent guests downstairs. They have a booth for union members. They're probably down there now. Over drinks. It's been a long, boring winter. A little.
Like you partied with the deceased?
No, not as hard.
I'm sorry to have to ask this, but have you had a physical relation?
I have. Which ones, sir? I don't remember precisely. Tied.
Could that have been part of the reason they hanged him?
I hope not. Actually, I know that's not the reason. I'm careful about that kind of thing. Not crossing the wires, you know? But that's probably where they got the rape idea. Men like that? I don't know. It's the way their imaginations work. I suspect it's what they'd like to do to me.
She breathes a silvery sigh of relief.
Should we head by downstairs, officer? We may have things to discuss there.
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint. From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit. Yeah, you have. You're a big dick cop, Dick Mullen, Salam Rocky Bayi, badass on the edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. With a sudden flash, the world freezes around you, and you along with it. The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight.
I don't know. It is not the first closed door we found in this building. I don't know. The further we get, the more this building seems to be tied to the case.
Below, the hostel cafeteria creaks and groans under your added weight. A skeleton of composite support beams and cantilevers. A dull thump. Somewhere inside,
the vigilantes, the cadaver, and a number of people connected to the case are in or around this building. This door is part of it. It's not unimportant. No, still a mini investigation.
The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight.
Looks like we have more to discuss with those so-called Hardy Boys. Half their reasoning just went out the window. Nothing will make them respect the RCM, but it will disrupt the game they prepared for us. We just stripped off one layer of whatever it is. Her decision to not corroborate their story was definitely not part of the plan. What else could she have done? Lie? She saw there was no way to lie and get away with it. If not you, then me. It was a smart move from her. You think so? Being candid is the best way to lie. The appearance of candor with some facts thrown in draws attention. She may be trying to control the pace of the investigation. Anyway, we should move.
The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. It's barred from the inside. Sounds like it's heavy, too. Very sturdy. You The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. You... The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. You kick it, gung-ho style. The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. You kick it, gung-ho style. Entering the premises style. The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. You kick it. The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. You kick it, gung. The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. You kick. The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. You kick. The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. You kick it. The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. You kick it, gung-ho. The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. You kick it. The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. You kick it. The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. You kick it. The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. You kick it, gung-ho style. Entering the premises style. But the door fails to respect the force. The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. You... The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. You kick it. Go. The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. Something cracks inside. It is an unbelievably satisfying...
Nice.
Sounds like the property damage wasn't in vain, at least. Would it hurt to look in? I don't know about that.
It totally was. You can almost see the shape of a man and a woman writhing inside, bathed in drug sweat and dirty linen.
You can barely see through. Better not to jump to sensationalist conclusions here. The footprints on the floor, however, definitely suspicious.
You lean closer to the peephole instinctively. I bet they're doing something quite... You clearly see footprints in the downy carpet of dust.
Jackpot. These, unlike everything else here, are new. 3 weeks maximum from the dust coverage. It could easily have been 1 week too. You know, officer.
This is good. He likes it.
The Blue Door was a mega investigation after all. It has now converged with our main investigation, which I would say is quite large. It means someone snuck through what seems like a secret route, behind our rape victim's room, in the recent weeks. This may prove to be significant.
Large prints, most likely made by boots. The size is hard to determine. Sole could be bigger than vamp. The soles have left a pattern, uniform, horizontal lines.
The size looks about the same, actually. They are not the same shoe, but they could be the same person. No, these little horizontal lines are different. They look custom-made to me, or some kind of foreign print.
Everything around you is quiet. The prints crisscross. You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue.
There must be a key somewhere. Probably somewhere in the whirling. It's...
Over there, in the corner. Not just any pinball machine. This is the pinnacle of pinball. Cornelius Gordy and the Mountain Goats. It's lit. You can't wait to get your hands on it.
The pinball machine. Gordy's Goats. A classic. A little.
Feels like a lot. Too much to play it again.
Ah, great.
Cornelius Gordy and the Mountain Goats reads the golden lettering on top. Get the game on, Fingerboy. Those flippers are ready. The theme of the game is to explore Gordy's climb through the perspective of goats and to ascend to the top of the mountain in a time of trouble. The peak of the mountain is at the top of the playfield. All the balls have small areas around the playfield represents Gordy's climb, places he was said to have camped, which the goats can discover. Get them to the summit. Above the painting of a mustached man climbing a hill, a column reads, "Inspired by the legend of Cornelius Gordy, taken on the world's tallest peak, Corpus Muindi." The Mesk legend holds that when the nation is in danger, heroic Gordy shall return and save. Over there, in the... not just any pinball machine.
Ah, great.
Cornelius, get the game on, Fingerboy. Those flippers are... It takes a while to get into a rhythm, but pretty soon you're able to keep 3... Go, Fingerboy.
I feel sorry for the goats. If they only knew the kind of guy old Cornelius really was. The kind of a guy who uses the word savages a lot while recounting his travels. An avid huntsman too. He was often photographed in his dining hall, surrounded by wall-mounted hunting trophies from every continent. He also hit his wife and kids, other people's kids too.
But you seem to be having fun.
Your game is definitely improving. The jolly goats are flying all over the board, and although a few plump, suddenly a special passage leading to the summit slides open at the top of maneuvering a goat ball into a position for a perfect hit isn't easy. More fall to their deaths. But finally, the words "pale rupture" light up on the speaker panel, and the machine starts filling with a thick...
Congratulations. This is where the game ends. It's a cheap way of getting...
There's so much fog, you can barely see anything. Some is actually leaking out of the machine, and one by... This can be navigated. The balls leave almost imperceptible disrupt. You're down to your last goat, going mostly by sound. Eyes are useless at this point, but that goat is something special. 5 times you snatch him back from the jaws of death.
I am. I've seen it before. Played it too. You will eventually make a mistake and then it's all over.
With automation like precision, you keep the final goat ball in play, reacting to the tiniest stimuli, floating in the flow state. The fog Gordy ball is lit.
Huh?
A panel opens up at the top of the playfield, and a new ball charges downhill. It's larger than the goats. So violent is its descent, it immediately knocks the last goat into the abyss. Then proceeds to bounce all across. High score, announce the speakers, and the whole machine lights up. Then the flippers retract, leaving a perfect opening for the Gordy ball to...
That's amazing. You didn't just win. No one I know has ever beaten Gordy's goats. That is a monumental achievement, Detective. Congratulations, Your Highness. That was really impressive. The machine needs a good service before anyone else can even attempt it again. Yes. Good times.
Once again, the machine life has left. This small elevator is dimly smells of nougat and sweat. Your head brushes up against the ceiling. The maintenance card under the control panel reads, "This elevator must have been used to transport pinball machines to and from the upstairs workshop."
Seems so, although it's pretty quaint for a freight elevator. That it does. I say, let's brave it. No, it was maintained in 88 of the previous century. No, I think the bureaucrats just forgot about this backroom elevator after the revolution.
There are large rectangular buttons, monter, descend, and a small steel plaque reads Halter 800. Halter is a Koningsteiner lift company who went out of business a long, long time ago. So this is where they brought 40 pinball machines to fix them up. The lieutenant looks around the dusty, crowded room, inspecting the tools.
At some point, 20 years ago, 15 maybe, before pinball went out of vogue. Looks like it. I'm guessing Martinez North 22 used to be a pinball arcade before it became a hostel. There are
a creak.
Downstairs in the hall, next to the main door. One of them even works. I've seen one of the hardest.
I was just thinking, what a nice evening it is for taking part in a murder investigation.
Soft, light brown eyes look back at you, directly into the space behind your eye sockets. You see the smoke rise from between her. I have bad news for you. You know these guys? Who? Me? Yes, you. He's talking about you. You boring stiff. You too. Me? What did I do? These guys are compromised. She's got them singing along to her tune. The little bleeps and bloops you trust for info, you can't trust them anymore. Believe it. There's no way of knowing. All bullshit, man. I ain't compromised. Especially that guy. That guy. No fucking way, man. I just want a drag of that sweet. Really? Quick. Tell me what's under her jumpsuit. Glory. Truth. Softness. Protect her. I take it back. He's got it pretty bad. But this next. She likes you. The crown head is a boring condom. He's jealous. This is human nature. How it always does. Through some. There's nothing you can do about it. You are how you are, and she is how she is. No. It's better to know you're being played than to be played without knowing it, is it not? I think it's safe to assume, yes, Mr. Thespian here hasn't been speaking up. If he were, I suspect she is a lady, most fair and just. In his defense, to reduce him to such inadequacy, she probably had to employ half-truths more often than outright lies. That is correct. And omissions too. A little. They're all still of limited use, interpreting things to the best of their ability. Maybe they add flair or something. I wouldn't know. But when it comes to assessments of character and factual accuracy, they are not to be trusted. Not with her. Don't be melodramatic. You can trust them. Just not with Miss Orange disco dancer here. You can't draw a sound conclusion. She may want to control the information rollout, not to become a suspect. She may have a past she's escaping, unrelated to this case. See? It's oddly moderate, probably compromised. Don't worry. It's only been 4 or 5 seconds. You've got this. The silence broken.
God, no. Why not? I'll be here until 11 p.m. drinking.
This window is pristine on the inside, unlike the one next to it. Light from the desk lamp reflects off the glass in an untarnished golden halo. Smooth as ice, there are spots of mud and rain on the outside, even smudge. Following your lead, the lieutenant leans in closer.
Looks like it, yes.
Can I help you?
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. There's a yellow ribbon tied to one of the branches, light yellow, faded with time. A tiny splash of color in the blackness of the thicket. Someone hid the key in the bush and it's close enough to the latch up there. One can slide it open and just take it. Surely not a coincidence.
Huh? I don't know about that. I'm comfortable here. Don't think...
Sorry, fucko. Looks like you're gonna have to go bush diving. I'm gonna enjoy.
With a loud thud, the old man stands up, pushes the window open. The key is brass. Workshop spare is etched in...
Come on, man. We were just having some...
I'm tired of listening to your shit. Don't thank me. I don't give 2 shits about your key.
There is a silence around this man's words. Unlike Titus, they're afraid of him. That's the type of respect he commands.
Didn't even know it was there. Boys.
No idea.
Never even seen it. Someone must have hidden it there before this room became our place.
You see a heavy steel door with the key fits the dimple lock. It takes a...
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. I love those. Oh, okay. Well, I did...
He's really hold... It takes a lot of willpower not to ask. Obviously, he's been wanting to know.
Okay, what is back there? Ha! I knew it. I've always wondered where those machines by the door came from. And they told me there was some kind of pinball thing here too. I knew it. Were there any back there? In working order, I mean. No, I was just wondering if you found pinball machines there. Those machines are whirling property. But if it makes you feel... It wouldn't hurt to get a little life in here. Other than the hellish karaoke machine.
Yeah, those numbers he's adding up must be making good sense to him right now.
What wall? I'll have it fixed at once. Thank you for letting me know.
The color has drained from his face. What a shame to fix such a good peephole.
Absolutely not. Fuck you for even implying it. It wasn't me. It was...
Sir, he was only asking a question. It's his job and mine.
Yes, I absolutely will. Sorry, it's been a bit of a day. And now a hole in the wall. Thank you. I'll patch it up personally. Was there something else about the establishment? I hope not. Why? No, fuck it. I don't want to know. I don't want to know why these degenerates do...
He really doesn't like it being classier.
Yeah, well, she's not a guest, is she?
What? Did someone...
We were just paying you a compliment. And finding out a degenerate from room 3 nicked the phone line. Good thing that guest pays for her stuff on time. I'll forward her the bill and be done with it. Yes?
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.